That's true.
Alrighty guys, here we are with finally got another game underway. Going to be seeing MGG Alpha as the Red Protoss up against Fenner, who is loud. There we go. Here's our Zerg. With me I've got NXZ, who is apparently one of the favourites here for our tournament today. How you going, man?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. What do you reckon about this matchup between these two players?
Alright, so we have Fenner, who's our friendly neighbourhood British Zerg living in Australia, who's on Frenetic Array, which is probably one of the top Australian teams at the moment. He's probably the favourite going into this tournament, and he's up against the Protoss player Alpha, who I feel like mechanically maybe not be as strong as Fenner, but he has some really cool builds, so he might be able to pull it out here.
Yeah, we watched a couple of Alpha's games earlier on in the cast, and he seemed to do pretty well. He seemed to hold off some 4-gate pressure and whatnot really easily, without much hassle. So interesting to see what he's going to do here. So what you play Zerg, don't you?
Yes.
That's pause.
There's a pause.
We haven't had a game without a pause yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Settings are off.
Yeah, so Fenner's had some computer troubles, so unfortunately.
Just a reminder, if you haven't paid an entrance fee, please come to the admin area. I know the boys have been around once or twice. The
Alright, so
fee gives you a armband, which holds my hand.
So Fenner's playing on
Don't have a link, please let me know.
one of the smaller monitored computers.
Yes.
So that means that his mouth sensitivity will be different from what he's used to.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like it'll be, instead of being 1080p, it's like 900, but like the screen's smaller, so then that'll make it different for him. So maybe his micro won't be as good as it would be normally.
Not ideal, obviously.
Yeah, that's the kind of issues you might have at a LAN, but
Absolutely. But theoretically, you should. You said before he might have the advantage over Alpha, so perhaps he'll even things up.
yeah. Well, I think everyone kind of has like the same issue normally. Like everything's kind of slightly different at a LAN. That's why like you might play a little bit better online than you would at a LAN tournament. Alpha is doing his kind of trademark pylon block here at the natural, which he seems to do almost all the time. He opens Forge first against Zerg. Fenner seems to be not even... Oh, it might be looking like he's taking his third as a natural. Yeah, there it is. That's pretty common. Normally Alpha tries to block the third as well if they do that, but he must have missed the drone coming by.
So he's obviously going to go out and grab his natural nexus, and it's a bit of a large distance to want to wall off here, is it?
Yeah. So he's probably going to have a couple pylons in the wall. He is getting a cannon first instead of the gateway. Now, normally when you do a Forge expand, you want your gateway coming down at around 3 minutes 30 seconds, and his isn't going to start until almost 4 minutes. So that makes any kind of gateway pressure, it's just not going to happen for Alpha. His warp gate research will be much too slow to do any kind of 7 gates, any of that. So he's playing safer getting the cannon before the gate.
So does that mean that Fenner can obviously go out and take a third pretty easily?
Yeah, so Fenner's going to take the third because he has gone for the Forge expand, and he can't really apply pressure until maybe 7:30 to 8 minutes. But with this gateway timing, like there's not going to be warp gate until almost 9 minutes. So Alpha's probably going to tech into maybe Stargate. That's what I probably expect from this. But Fenner can be free. Like he can delay his Roach War and play really greedy, and he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think Alpha's actually been going a lot of. I've seen him go Stargate almost every game so far. Obviously, up until now, he's only been playing against Protoss players. Yeah, but obviously the air for the Protoss are a lot stronger with the Oracle and such.
Yeah, the Phoenix got buffed, the Void Ray's got a buff, Tempest now, there's I think carriers you can micro a little bit better. Like Stargate in general got a buff, and PvP, from my understanding, is almost always just Stargate versus Stargate, or I mean, like almost always you can have at least one person open Stargate. So we'll see if we see that as his Cybernetics core is finishing up. So which it's finishing at just before 6 minutes, and like I was saying, if he wanted to do an all-in, that'd be finishing 5:30 or even earlier. So
all right, so we won't be seeing any like 6 or 7 gate sort of pressure.
He's definitely teching it with these double gases at the natural as well. That shows kind of how he probably wants to head into a tech of some kind. A mothership core coming out, which he might. I think he's just going to use that just so he doesn't die. Fenner's playing pretty standard, getting a double gas at around 6 minutes, just macroing up. He is supply capped, and he's been at 46 supply for a very long time, which isn't ideal for him.
It is not ideal at all. So Fenner's obviously been sending his Zerglings out. He's checking around, see there's nothing hidden here from Alpha. Alpha only, he's got that mothership core out now.
Yeah.
And we'll see, he is researching warp gates as well, so slowly pushing his way forward. Not many probes down at the natural though. You see just trying to clear out the overlords around his base. With Fenner obviously far and away ahead of that supply, so he's not particularly worried about losing 1 or 2 overlords right this second. It's not going to impact him.
Yeah, so this is actually very interesting for Fenner. His macros slipped a little bit. So Fenner's one of these players who, in ZVP, he sticks by this like. He wants 70 supply by like 7 minutes 20 or early. Like he's really like trying to hit that 70 supply mark as early as he can. In this game, he's hitting it at 8 minutes, which is almost like 40 seconds slower than he would like to hit it normally. And this was because he got Overlord capped at 46 for the longest time, which really delayed his build. There is double Stargate for Alpha, so double Phoenix. Alpha does do this build a little bit. He's going to build up maybe 6 to 8 Phoenix and then move out. Hopefully catch Fenner off guard because his Overlord won't be able to scout the back of the base there.
Absolutely. We have seen, as you said before, a lot of Phoenix play from Alpha so far today, and it's worked well for him up until now, so I guess he's going to keep on going with that one. Just you see he's got the core over there on the third. Is he going to be looking for a third anytime soon, or is he going to try and push out here?
I think what he's probably going to wait until he has a couple of gateways. Yeah, so he's adding the gateways here. I feel like he's just going to try and pressure with maybe, like I said, 6 to 8 Phoenix. Probably pressure with that. He has a Twilight Council coming, which makes me pretty much sure that it's probably not an all-in. He does want to get damage with these Phoenix, but maybe he's going to head in for like a Sky Toss composition and take his third off like Void Ray. Oh, he is getting a Templar Archive, so I'm not sure what his plan is really. I think maybe he'll do he is getting a Void Ray now. Yeah, so we're probably going to see some sort of Sky Toss out of Alpha. He reveals the Phoenix here now. Oh.
Link's one link kind of gets by, but that's going to be the end of him. Nice force field finally coming in the nick of time there. That Zealot was just starting to lose his life. And
that was a very good play.
Yeah, chase off. You'll see these. Here we go with our Phoenix just going to come in here. We'll pick up an Overlord or 2, I would suspect. Before
the Hydras are coming out there. So he's going to try and pick off some Hydras as they rally around. But he shouldn't get too much damage in. He will pick off some units here and there, but it looks like his follow-up plan for this is going to be into a Void Ray Templar composition. And I'm not really sure if that's going to work out for him. Like it's some sort of 2-base all-in because he's not heading for the third, and I feel like if Fenner just kind of stays back in defense, he should be fine here. He is making 10 Overlords though, so I don't think he's going to need any more after that. That probably will put him up to 200 supply.
Yeah, should bring him up to that. We'll have a look. We'll see if we got what we have in terms of upgrades, metabolic boost, and
Hydra speed.
Yeah, obviously just the warp gates, and no.
Yeah, he has storm research on the way. Other than that, hasn't really got it. This is a rather odd game. It's kind of normal of Alpha to have really weird games. He does play a very different style from most Protoss players. I'm not really sure. So as you can see from his minerals there, he's actually floating a lot of money. Like I said, maybe his mechanics aren't quite up to par, but strategically this is a really interesting build. He has a lot of Templars, so I think his plan's probably going to be have a bunch of Void Rays, just storm any Hydras, and then hopefully kill all the Hydras with Storm, and then just use the Void Rays to kill everything else. But
yeah. Is he's finally going to go out and take that third, though? He's going to have to do something to defend it here, because
I don't think he'll be able to
should have to get the cancel in, and he will cancel.
He does get the cancel on the pylons too, which is nice.
Yeah. But you see, his army, it's not much in terms of army supply. If we have a look at that, 92 to 60.
Yeah.
It's not
So Alpha's trying to build up like a really strong army composition. Maybe he's just going to max on 2 bases, like just sit on 2 base, maybe try and take a third like he was doing, but just keep making Void Race, keep making Templar, and just get this unkillable army that with Skytoss. I'm not sure how much I like that off 2 bases though. It looks like he is going to try and secure a third here. He is floating so much money.
That is a lot of minerals, and that's when he's 60 supply behind and has so many minerals out there, you really need to start doing something. So he's obviously got a much better army out here now to try and defend his third as he decides to retake it. Not sure whether Fenner's going to want to come and pick up that third, or whether he's going to try and push into the natural here.
I think he should head towards the third. That's probably going to be like a pretty good engage. Oh, there's the Time Warp coming down there from Alpha. Fenner can't really engage up that ramp into Time Warp. It'll make his Hydras get crushed by a storm. I think what I'd like to see from Alpha is just drop like 3 or 4 more gateways, like maybe even more, and just warp in a lot of zealots, and even just not keep them with his army, but send them in. And here's the engage. Fenner is splitting off into a nice concave. I don't think Alpha can fight this. There's Corruptors and Hydras out, and some nice storms. That actually went pretty well for Alpha, considering if he has more storms for these Hydras, this could be really good for him.
He's warping in a lot of Stalkers as well, so slow onto the Hydras. We'll pick up another storm, they run into it.
Yeah, see there's the Time Warp coming in awesomely for Alpha there. It slows down the Hydras, gets some 6 storms on them. I think Fenner's remaxing. I'm not sure what he's making with his supply. It looks like more Hydras and Lings, so I have to see D for production.
It's cool. I'm an expert spectator at StarCraft. You may have noticed.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
So he's going to pick up the Templars. That's terrible for Alpha. Will he get a storm on the... No, he gets no storms on the Hydras. He can't fight this army anymore. The Templars were pretty much the thing that was... They were like what made his army really. Like the Void Rays kind of kill Corruptors or whatever. But then it was the Templar that were like the crux of his army here. But now he's lost them. And... with this Hydra Ling, it's going to be really hard for him to hold.
There are a lot of Hydras here. Needs something like a Colossus would go down well right about now. I don't even think he's gone out there with the Robo.
At this point. He is just trying to... The Templars were really his... They were his like only unit against just this mass Hydra. Like, until he gets enough Void Rays, enough carriers out, he can't fight this cost effectively, and it looks like Fenner's just going to be able to push through to the win here. He has no AoE, and with that AoE against Hydras, it's very difficult to kill them.
A couple of Zealots going to come in here down the bottom. They're going to obviously get cleaned up as well.
Yeah.
Fenner's just going to keep throwing. Oh, there we go. A couple of nice storms. Do bring down to about 20 supply difference now.
Well, that is actually pretty nice. So here's the thing. Here's where Fenner's having some issues. He's only just now taking his 4th base. He said, all right, I'm going to kill you with 3 bases, because Alpha got the 3rd so late, and he just didn't take the 4th. Like his mind was on other things, and now he's realized like, oh, I might not win here. I need a 4th. So he's taking his 4th now, but Alpha's on 3 base already, and he has a lot of gas. He has 600 gas banked up, so he's making carriers. So this is actually looking really nice for Alpha now. If he can just stay alive until he has some carriers out with the interceptors, and Fenner's not going to have a 4-base economy for quite a bit now. He can be in a great position.
Yeah, so you said the carriers are now coming out, and he had 3 bases, Fenner, very, very early on, and I've just ignored that 4th entirely, assuming that he would be able to clean up Alpha on just 3 bases and push out.
Had Alpha taken his 3rd earlier than he did, Fenner would have taken the 4th, because that's a normal thing to do, to take the 3rd slightly earlier than what Alpha did. But because Alpha's taken it later, he's gone. Your 3rd is later, you don't have a strong army, which Alpha didn't really have that much supply of an army. So Fenner's like, I'll just kill you with my 3 base, so your 3rd base doesn't get up. But and he just kind of forgot about he thought he didn't need the 4th, but Alpha has secured that, and he's got his army is all full of gas. Like, it's a very gas heavy army.
Yep.
And Fenner is switching to Infestors here, which I don't like at all. I think it's a poor unit choice.
How do Infestors go up against carriers? It's
Not very, like, the Fungal is alright against the Void Rays, but against the carriers it just doesn't do that. Like, Infested Terrans aren't that great anymore without the upgrades working on the Infested Terrans. So they're not that great against carriers, and I feel like spending 8 times 150. I don't know what that is. It's a big number, but it's a lot of gas he's spent on Infestors.
1200.
All right, 1200. So that's like if he got 12 Corruptors instead, that would have been much nicer. He has a Viper coming out here,
Okay, we have results.
which is nice. A Viper is it's a good choice, but he needs Corruptors. He needs to be going Hydra, Corruptor, Viper, and then maybe add Infestors later. Like, Infestors should be his optional. Like, they shouldn't be what he's heading for first anymore. And if he does, he only wants 3 or 4 maybe, not this absurd amount he has got. He does have a strong army. He's maxed and Alpha's only at 150 supply.
The Vipers should be able to pull out the carries. Is that the plan? Like, get them
so the Vipers are probably going to pull it, because one of the strengths of the carriers is that the Hydras are just going to shoot the interceptors.
Yeah.
And then the carriers will be doing whatever.
Or massive storms there onto those Infestors, absolutely destroying.
Screen.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, there were some very nice storms to Alpha there, but he just had not enough of an army. The maxed Hydraling Infestor with a couple Vipers in there was probably too. Oh, he has some Dark Temple Warpins cleaning things up, but he is down almost over 100 supply at this point, and that's killer.
That is pretty much the end of it. You see, he's got his 4th up there. No one is mining.
If he can turtle up, maybe he can pull something out. He has lost his Natural Nexus. There wasn't much mining going on there anyway, but he has 2 bases of mining, and I don't think he can reinforce, because Fenner can't really remax after that. Like, if Fenner loses the army he has, he doesn't even have 70 drones, so it's going to be really hard for him to get, like, remake this army he has. It's a very, very expensive army. Like, the Hydras cost quite a lot, but Alpha can't make an army that will kill. Like, so if Alpha manages to just really cost efficiently destroy these Hydras and Infestors and the Zerglings, and like lose almost nothing, he'll be in an awesome position in the game. But because they're both on 4 bases, but
assuming he's about to lose his 4th,
if he loses this 4th,
that's about the end of it, I would suspect.
He is going to try and come up and defend. Does Fenner have detection yet? I can't tell.
I think he's got a little bit of detection.
Only a little bit.
And that's GG's going to go out. So
Fenner takes game 1.
Well done. Game 2 here of, so I don't know people's names, MGG Alpha, our red Protoss, up against Frey Fenner, who is our Zerg player. Now, this is game 2 of a best of 3, and first game did go through to our Zerg player. With me, I keep forgetting your name, it's NXZ. See, I'm good with names that are like words.
Yeah, it's hard to remember, that's for sure.
So you were just saying that you found that game quite interesting, Alpha playing a little bit differently than you'd expect. Obviously still going the air that he seems to have enjoyed so far. Yeah,
so in Heart of the Swarm, what it seems to be the standard at the moment in from Protoss is they seem to like doing this. They'll open Stargate, and then they'll kind of make 4 Phoenix off the 1 Stargate, get an expansion, and then kind of head into Colossus, and then maybe some Templar later on, and maybe some Void Rays as well. And then they kind of, from that, they might transition into the Sky Composition later on. But Alpha kind of just going straight into that off 2 bases as well. So he was also floating a lot of money. So what I would have liked to see is maybe he takes the third 2 minutes earlier and just builds like 10 cannons at the third and just says, all right, I'm just going to try and hold this with cannons, because he was floating so much money.
Yeah.
And I think that might have, so like he gets the fifth and the sixth gas up much quicker, and then he can afford more Void Rays, more Templars, and just make his like dream composition much earlier than he did in that last game.
Yeah, and you're right. Like, I think that seems to be the safe go-to for Protoss at the moment.
Yeah.
Up against most openings, up against Terran, we saw MC at MLG pretty much.
Stargate, almost
just
every game.
Stargate pulling down those drops with the medivacs and
the Phoenix.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, exactly. And up against Zerg, I know I used to struggle up against like Roach all-ins and things like that early on, which obviously your Mothership core helps with that, but just getting air in general. And that early harass potential with obviously your Phoenixes and your Oracles. So
actually, Fenner. So in the last game, Fenner took his. What's common is to take your third base if they block your natural, if you know they're forge expanding. And Fenner, instead of taking his third, he's just gone straight to the fourth instead. So what he's going to do is he's going to kill this pylon at his natural, which he's doing now with his 4 wings. And he's going to take that base, and he's not going to take his third for quite a while, which is, it's weird. I'm not sure. Maybe the probe was blocking him at his third, but
it's gone straight out.
He's just gone straight for the fourth. So this is risky, because if Alpha decides to go for some kind of gateway timing, which Alpha isn't doing, by the way. He's got the late gateway again at 4 minutes. But if he was, Fenner would have like difficulty holding that.
But it's going to be, this surely is going to be susceptible to some sort of air if he gets out of Void Ray or something.
Yeah, that's true.
Like it's hard to get Queens over there and whatnot, I would assume.
Yeah, we might see that. I feel like it won't make too much of a difference. I think it should be fine for Fenner. Especially with the Spore Crawler that doesn't require an Evolution Chamber anymore, so like if a bunch of Void Rays come up, he can see it coming and just get some Panic Spores up. He doesn't need an Evo Chamber, he should be fine. Here's the first Queen coming over now, picking off this probe. Cybercore coming down for Alpha. Oh, okay, so I was talking to Fenner earlier, and he said that he'd copied this build from Life, which is he gets this double gas at a 28 supply.
And Life's like 1 MLG.
Yes, so Life is probably the best Zerg in the world right now. And he said he went on Life's match history on Korea, and he said Life was doing this build in Zerg vs Protoss, and basically he said it's a Roach Ling attack of 3 base, but you get the gases earlier, so it's like hitting. And it's kind of like designed to beat the Phoenix play I was talking about, because they have 4 Phoenix and a couple of ground units, and then you turn up with 20 Roaches and a bunch of Speedlings.
Yeah.
And Phoenixes are good, but they're not going to kill Roaches.
You'll run out of energy before you get through 20 Roaches, even if you wait there all day.
So here's the speed. So basically he should add a Roach 1 on probably now. I'd like to see it now. Yeah, there it is. So this is, he's going to do what I was talking about. So he's just going to get maybe 13 Roaches, like a bunch, like 10 to 12 Roaches maybe, and a bunch of Speedlings, attack, and then behind that he'll tech and drone up and stuff, and head up to 60 drones, 4 bases maybe. And he'll probably do a lot of damage against what Alpha's doing, because Alpha, if he does go for this double Stargate again, there's the 1 Stargate. So this is going to be so good for Fenner. This is probably, if Alpha doesn't make Void Rays, if he goes straight into Phoenix like we saw last game, this build for Fenner is going to be fantastic. So you see on Fenner's natural there, he has almost no drones, because this is a really aggressive build. So there's the 11 Roaches we're talking about. So 40 drones. That's so after this he's probably going to drone up to maybe 60, and then kind of go back into units. But 15 Roaches. He's going to make Lings now. He's going to walk in, and Alpha's going to have Phoenixes, a Mothership Core, and a Stalker and a Sentry maybe.
And obviously, Fenner's obviously going to see this now. He's going to sacrifice. Yeah,
he's going to be like, yes, this is great.
And he knows what's going on. So he's going to be feeling pretty happy right now. You see these Roaches starting to come out. He realizes if we have a look at the units, there's not much. There's 2 Stalkers.
There's 2 Stalkers and a Mothership Core.
Yeah, so I guess he can Photon overcharge his Nexus and hold it off if he was to push right now. But after that's done, he hasn't got much left.
I think Alpha's dead. This is a really cool build from Fenner. I was like, that sounds really awesome, because like I was saying, almost everyone's doing this Stargate build, maybe not. They're not going to 2 Stargate like that. So he's just going to kill this Forge. He used Time Warp. I don't like that. He should have used the thing on the Nexus, but he's going to just walk in through here, run up into the main even. I don't know. Snipe the Cyber Core, but is Alpha making Void Rays? Because that's really his only chance of holding this. Yeah.
One Void Ray is, and it's only just starting. I don't know if
he's not going to be. If Fenner just rallies Lings, he'll win the game. But it looks like he's droning up instead, which is probably he's probably just going to win the game. And he's going to get so far ahead from this. Alpha, a Void Ray will take ages to kill this many Roaches and Lings. He's going to lose almost all his birds. This is really bad for Alpha.
He's already into the main, and Void Ray. There's one. Finally, a Void Ray is going to pop out, and GG is going to come out anyway, and that is the end of that. So, two relatively quick wins there from Fenner. That second game, obviously knowing that Alpha might try that.
Yeah, so that
again.
Seeing that 2 Stargate, that looks really cool against the 2 Stargate build that he did. So.